beautiful souls. So I've just sat in my mind for the last, 30, 40 minutes or so, with the occasional inspiration to open up A Course in Miracles and to see what came forward. And then I received the inspiration to make a video. And it's been a little while since I've done them, as my focus these days has been on this stillness, and at the same time being with the people, seeing people continually every single day, and being able to watch this progression in relationships, and truly being taught what relationships mean, what they are for, what true communication is, what that even means. And I've been able to have the experiences of true joining, of everything that I speak about in my videos all the time. I experience it as I'm learning it, as I teach it and experience it. And so it's coming from this place within me that knows that I, Brittany, know nothing from my past, nothing from who I think that I am, nothing from anything that anybody's told me. But there's this voice of strength, this voice of wisdom that teaches me when I admit that I do not know. And it is this voice of strength that reminds me of who I am. And from this position of knowing who I am comes the conviction and the message and my purpose and who we all are. And so because of this, I feel that I wanted to embrace more about communication, as I've been learning what true communication really means. And maybe I'll even break it down to a little experience that I had maybe this week. And it always comes down to the fundamental question, am I inspiring communication or am I breaking it down? Right? Am I inspiring communication or am I breaking it down? And for me, even an idea of communication is with our computers, right? Computers are our friends. And there was a day this week that I was getting frustrated with my computer. I was trying to go on this program and it kept crashing on me. I'd call all the program people to help me and they were of no service, passing me around from place to place to place to place, not receiving my answers. And I was basically like, what is going on here? This is annoying. This shouldn't be happening. And through that experience, what I had learned is that I was not communicating wholly with my computer. And the reason that that was so is because I was judging my computer based on the past. I don't know computers. Computers are too confusing. There's too much going on. There's so much word, I just have to skim through it. Nothing ever works with it. These were all my old thoughts about it. And it's because I had just believed that a computer was a computer, a thing of form that is here in this world, which it is, right? But we're also remembering that everything that is in this world is one with who we really are. We are at one with every aspect of creation. And when we know who we are, as children of God, then we know that we are the creators of everything that is here in form, right? We are co-creators of everything that is happening here in form. And therefore this computer is an extension of me, right? This computer is my friend, right? This computer has enabled me to embrace communication all around the world. This computer has enabled me to give the gifts of light and the gifts of salvation to people everywhere all the time, which has enabled me to accept it and receive it within myself through the gifts that I've shared. This is a divine act. Like if I use this computer for the gifts of salvation, it's divine, it's holy. I am now holding the highest thought about this computer that I possibly can have. Now that's true communication. That is seeing this computer for what it is and its helpful benefits for me and for all the ways in which we can inspire and improve communication, right? That's how you know it's divine. right? But for me, when I had my own projections on the computer, it wasn't working the way in which I thought it should because of my own thoughts about it. I was the only one who was feeling uneasy about it, nobody else. I was the one who was feeling frustrated about it, nobody else. So it has nothing to do with the computer, it has nothing to do with what's happening on the screen, nothing to do with those people that I'm calling. It has to do with my thoughts and my perception of it. And so with this being said, we can take this awareness that we are truly communicators beyond anything else, and that we don't necessarily have to communicate through word, but we communicate through thought, through mind, because that's where everything begins, which is within the mind. So we can remember that we can communicate with everyone and everything on this planet, including, let's say there's a spider beside me. Instead of killing it, I can communicate with it. I can talk to it as an aspect and a reflection of myself. I can begin to form these relationships with everyone, everywhere, all the time, and to be able to see the divinity in them, to be able to see that creation in them, and engage in this communication in its highest form, right? And to use all of these people, all of these situations, all of these things as a way for us to truly, truly, truly communicate, right? And ultimately this communication first begins within the mind of the self, right? Because if we believe ourselves just to be this body, well then how could I ever communicate with someone from mind to mind, soul to soul, if I think that I'm just this body? It's impossible. But when I remember who I am as a child of God, then I can know that they're children of God too and speak to that mind in them, which is a completely different thought system, which is a completely different consciousness, which is a completely different reality. Right? And this is ultimately what Jesus taught us, right? We are one mind, we are one self, at one with every aspect of creation, limitless in power and in peace, right? And the way that this is exemplified is by us recognizing that we can communicate wholly through this one mind we share, and at the same time recognizing that we don't know what this means, but be open to learning it and letting ourselves choose that this is the communication we want, holy communication, wholeness, right? Not split with my own perceptions of what's going on, my own ideas of who I think I am and what this world is, allowing myself to continue to suffer because that's what I think happens in this world, right? And so to come back to this point of experiencing these new ways of communicating, right? It's even been really, really helpful with the Center for the One. Recognizing that there's some people that, yes, okay, we tap into this collective mind and realize that we would love to bring forward a new school. We would love to bring forward this new way of teaching and educating and a place to come together and have community and all of these things that we can do with the land and off the land and all of this great stuff, right? We're realizing that, yes, this is what we want to do. But at the same time, what we are learning is to join in this one mind, which is true communication, which is where the miracles come from, which is where the inspiration comes from, that actually unfold. Because we can have all these ideas, all these great insights, all of these things that we think that we want, but a lot of the time they will come from the idea of what can I do for myself, right? What can I do to make myself greater? What can I do to have me and my family have more money? What can I do to look better in the eyes of others? What can I do to be a role model or an idol for others? And, all of this stuff. We try and make up this image of who we think we are, and we try to make up this image of what we think we want to do in this world, and it'll never work that way. It'll never work that way. And so what we're inspiring is true joining. And what true joining means is simply the recognition of our one self in the other person, right? And then we don't have these talks about how spiritual we are, how great this world is, how great everything is. No, we literally have pure communication. And I don't even know how to formulate this into words because it truly is an experience, but it's as if you are in prayer the whole time. And not because we're like, oh, praise Jesus, but because we feel that presence of pure divine love encompassing the all, that no longer we're here diddly-dallying with things of form, but we're here joining in mind, in thought, in consciousness. And then we are able to see through these eyes of light, through these eyes of strength, new vision on this world. And then we're able to take what our gifts are in this world and what our passions are in this world and have them transformed into ways that are used into this world that are most helpful for everybody here. So no longer is it just in the mind of all these thoughts of what we're going to do with form and with land and with this world, because that's not where our mind is. That's not where it's supposed to be. Our mind is on who we are. And then on being who we are, the gifts are given us for practical application of what it is that we're supposed to bring forward into this world. So now we are given the step-by-step directives of how this will take place. Right? So now no longer is it just in the mind of a thought in the mind, that this ego mind created for itself on what it's thinking to be behalf of the world. But now it's this joint will that comes with the surety, that comes with the conviction, that comes with the way. And then it sinks into the heart of this knowing, this absolute knowing that this divine thought has come from inspiration that is out of this world. And then it comes to the hands where we can give and where we're open to receive continually these gifts from the divine. And a lot of the time it does begin with a thought like the center. And then as we continue to remain open to the inspiration of this thought and not think that we're the ones who have to conduct it or do it for ourselves or worry about what's going to happen in form or worry about the laws of this world or worry about any of this stuff, is when we are true vessels of communication for this inspiration and for this divine gift to come through us and into this world, right? Our hands are wholly open to receive these gifts from God through us so we can extend them and give them to this world. That's what is supposed to happen here. And when we join in true communication, we know it. We feel it. We recognize it, right? And we say it, wow, pure recognition. And it's the highest light, the highest thought that you could possibly have about someone in this world. And it is, I guarantee you, indeed, miraculous. And what all of our relationships are up until this point is to allow us to learn about the self, because everybody's a mirror. And so we learn by those people who come into our experience what's still within us, just like with my computer, right? It was my lesson, right? To transform in our own minds what relationships really are, right? And what communication really is. And to know that everyone and everything at every single moment is an opportunity for us to learn and to seek and accept salvation for ourselves beyond anything else, right? And the salvation is true sight. The salvation is true vision, right? The salvation is our collective oneness, right? And it first happens within the self. Salvation comes from my one self, of course, and we all are that one self. And when that one self comes together with that one self, bam! Oh my God, incredible. And this is how miracles happen, right? We simply come together, and then the inspiration flows. And along with this lines of inspiration and communication, 2 nights ago, Tom and I received this experience. Because him and I, we share one mind, and it's quite friggin' evident every single aspect of the day, right? And when we see something, we see it together. And we share this vision, we share this insight. I'm not concocting it, he's not concocting it, but we're in the present joy of receiving it, right? And this is how we know we have direct communication with our Creator, because what comes through us couldn't possibly come from us, because it's so divine and out of this world and whole and perfect that it must come from our one self as the children of God that we are, because it is the wholeness of perfection that we are able to exemplify and demonstrate in this world as it comes through us. But it doesn't come from us, right? So we brought forward a grand opening celebration event that we're going to be doing for the Center for the One here at the beginning of September, the first weekend in September. And all the ideas for it have come streaming through, and we'll share more on, the website for Center for the One, as well as our fan page for Center for the One on Facebook, if anybody wants to join, as well as probably my own website as well. So if you're interested in it and you want to get a hold of it, it'll probably be here in Canada, then let me know, and we can, share more about that. But that's another, example of what comes forward when we become open for whatever it is that might happen. And now we are able to exemplify our team first approach and our purpose for this education center and how it will be an absolute benefit for the community and this world for it to be here. So we're so excited, and I'm so grateful for these experiences lately of teaching me what true joining means. So now I can go back to those relationships that have yet to be true communication, but our own ideas about what communication is, and transform it through my acceptance of it within me and my experience of it within me. And this is ultimately where it begins, right? Right here. And along that note, I simply just wanted to read a paragraph that's this big from A Course in Miracles. And basically, it's a prayer of the heart. It's a prayer of the spirit to recognize that we know nothing, but we are willing and open to receive everything. And this everything is whole. It's complete. It's perfect. It's the essence and the reflection of who we are, and from this acceptance of who we are, it's shining throughout this world, and it's joining, making all these dots of joining everywhere, so that we really are changing this world. But it first happens by changing ourselves and coming wholly empty-handed unto our God to receive these truths from within us. Because if we have yet to have this experience of miracles and joining and knowing who we are from within us, then we're still listening to another teacher. And we only have teachers. Either it's the voice for God or it's the ego. So if we haven't received these truths and this conviction within ourselves, we're simply just still listening to another teacher, and that's okay. But this just is now needed for correction. And so now this little paragraph, I do believe, will give us the strength and the way to bring us to that point of peace, so we can open to that correction in our own mind, and to remember that this can't happen in an instant, people. Time is the illusion, eternity is the reality, and it is Jesus who controls time. So if you are ready and you ask to receive empty hands, it will be given you. So let yourself receive your part here. Let yourself receive who you are here. Let yourself receive the eternal bliss that is your natural state, that you deserve. Right? So here we go. Let's all close our eyes and connect deeply with the heart here. And allow these words to sink into every cell and aspect of our being, to enlighten our mind, to open our heart, so we may receive the gifts of God that are already freely given us, that we simply just must remember and accept today. Simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. All concepts you have learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world, forget this course, and come with wholly empty hands unto your God. And as we let ourselves open and receive here, we may receive these gifts within us. And I'll conclude one last few words here. As we've opened the door to His love to shine outwards from within its home, which is within us, which will lighten up the world in innocence, and let our true beauty and reality shine from the inside out. Father, we do not know the way to you, but we have called, and you have answered us. We will not interfere. Salvation's ways are not our own, for they belong to you. And it is unto you we look for them. Our hands are open to receive your gifts. We have no thoughts we think apart from you, and cherish no beliefs of what we are or who created us. Yours is the way that we would find and follow. And we ask but that your will, which is our own as well, be done in us and in the world, that it become a part of heaven now. Amen. And so it is. This has already happened. This is already happening. And all we have to do is join with it. Our one united will is our own. There's no such thing as a separate will, even though we have dreamed it is so for so long. And so as we welcome that united will and come wholly empty-handed unto our God, it will be received in quiet listening and expectancy today, as I believe in you, child of God, to receive the gifts within you as I've received within myself. I love all of you. Thank you.